So Google just released some insane updates to Gemini that are going to completely change the way that you use it. And the best part is most of these updates are completely free, including a new tool that allows you to create mini apps directly inside of Gemini and a powerful new model. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through all these updates and show you exactly how to use them. This video is sponsored by Focal. So this first update may be my favorite from this past year. If you now come into Gemini and come to the chatbot and click on this plus icon, you'll now see the option to add as an attachment any of your NotebookLM notebooks. If I click on this, I'll see all of my notebooks right here, and I can not only chat with one of my notebooks, but I can actually chat with multiple notebooks inside this one chat. Now, if you're not familiar with NotebookLM already, you should become familiar with it. This is one of Google's best AI tools they have ever released. This is a way to organize different information into these different notebooks. So you see all of my notebooks right here. I'll open up this one. This one is a notebook I put together to help me learn how to use QuickBooks. And what makes this so easy is that you can just upload different sources like links to websites, links to YouTube videos, things from your Google Drive. You can upload files, and then all of that information will be here on the left, and you can chat with all of that information right here in this chat. But now this is integrated into Gemini. And why this is better than just chatting with it inside of NotebookLM is because you can chat with multiple notebooks at once, which you haven't been able to do in the past. So NotebookLM is sort of a place to organize all of your information. I use this as a research assistant for all my different projects, my different YouTube videos, if I'm buying something and want to do research on buying it, I'll make a notebook for that. Pretty much every little area of my life, I have a notebook for. And now I don't have to jump over to NotebookLM. I could just come into Gemini and use the power of Gemini combined with NotebookLM, including things like gems. So I have a gem here to help me write YouTube scripts. I come over here, I can attach one of my notebooks where I'm doing all of my research for that video, and I can have it actually create the script for me based on the research that's inside my NotebookLM notebook. And the merger between these two incredibly powerful tools, Gemini and NotebookLM, is just insane. I'm so happy that they have finally done this. The more that I use this, the more I find just how insanely powerful this workflow is. As a quick example, let's say you're a student and you're taking a history class, and in that class you've learned about the Revolution, you've learned about Reconstruction and some other topics. So for each topic, you can create a notebook. Then when you're studying for the quiz about the Revolution, you can quiz yourself by coming into this notebook. But then at the end of the semester, you're going to be tested on everything. So then you can come into Gemini, go ahead and add both of your Revolution and Reconstruction notebooks and have this quiz you and actually learn from both of those knowledge bases at once. Now, the next update I want to talk about is a massive one for Gemini Gems. Now, if you're not familiar with Gems already, they're basically these custom chatbots for Gemini that do specific things according to the instructions that you give them. So for instance, I have one right here that produces summaries for me for any link that I send it. I have another one with custom instructions on how I like my YouTube scripts. But these new gems are something entirely different. So to access these, come to Gemini, click on the left here where it says gems. And now at the top, it'll say build AI apps, a new kind of gem from Google Labs. And basically what these are custom mini AI apps that you can create yourself and even share with your friends and family. Now, as a starting point, they give you ones that they have made themselves. So here's a great one right here called Recipe Genie. Let's go ahead and open that up. So here on the left is where we actually create the app. And on the right, you can get a preview and actually see and actually use it. So let's go ahead and test out the app that was made. So I can go ahead and start it. It's going to ask me what ingredients are in my fridge. I can either upload a photo of it or type it out. So let me just type out what's in my fridge, and I'll go ahead and submit that. And it's going to generate some recipes for me. So here's the result. It suggests that I make either classic mushroom scramble on toast or simple mushroom and eggs butter toast. So here are two recipes based on the ingredients in my fridge. So this is like an app within the app, and these are actually very easy to make. So let's come back over to Gems. This time I'm not going to use the ones that were made by Google. I'm going to click on New Gem right here. And then I just typed in what app I wanted to create. So in this case, I want an app where I can upload an image of my product, and then it'll generate an image of that product being used by someone for a product ad. Go ahead and click on submit on that. You can see now it's generating the app, actually going through the entire planning process. And here's the result. And I kid you not, this took less than 30 seconds to make. Let's go ahead and test it real quick. I'll click on start, then I'll just upload the image of my product. Click on continue, describe the desired ad and person. So I'll say a man wearing this apron in the kitchen, and then I'll get to work taking my product, which is an apron, and putting it on a person. And there we go. That is absolutely perfect. That is exactly what the apron looks like. It's on a person in a kitchen. So the best part about this is that you can now share this app. So I can click on the top right here where it says share app, toggle this on. And now I have this link that I can share with anyone and they'll be able to use this mini app as well. It's super fun and super cool. Now, as cool as those last updates were, this next one is probably the most impactful because for years, AI has really forced you to make this really annoying choice. You could either go with a powerful model that was kind of slow, or you could go with a fast model that wasn't quite as fast. But Google just released Gemini 3 Flash, which completely eliminates that trade-off. So now when you come to Gemini, you can notice right here, it'll say fast is now powered by 3 Flash. This is their latest model. You click right here on the dropdown, you can choose which model you want to use, either fast, thinking, or maybe you have access to Pro. And this is the one that's been updated, fast. Now, in the past, fast was always a trade-off. It wasn't as good as thinking, and that continues to be the case. Thinking is definitely going to be better. However, this new fast is actually better than the last Pro model for a lot of tasks. It is an incredibly powerful, very capable model, and it is available on the free plan as well. This next update is still experimental, which means that not everyone is going to have access to it yet, but it's very impressive, so I wanted to show it to you, and it will be coming to everyone hopefully very soon. It's called Visual Layout. So to find this, come into Gemini and click on Tools, and you may see the option now for Visual Layout. And basically what this does is instead of just giving you a text response in the chat, it generates this very immersive magazine-style view complete with photos and interactive modules. So for example, I can say to it, tell me about tenkara fly fishing, which is a type of fly fishing that originated in Japan. If I go ahead and submit that, usually this takes a little bit longer, but once you get the results, it will look something like this. So it explains all the same information it would before, but look at how much more visual this is, how much more immersive this is. We have a nice title up here. It describes basically what tenkara is. We have a photo over here of someone actually fishing with it. It goes over the gear, and here's a bunch of pictures of them broken down like this. I can actually click on this and it'll bring me down to ask it more about that particular item, which is the tenkara fly fishing rod. Here's a whole history of it. Here are a couple of YouTube videos that I found. So a lot more visual, a lot more immersive. I absolutely love this for learning about new knowledge because it's really multimodal and helps me learn things a lot faster. And before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Focal. Focal is an AI agent that operates inside a video editor. And unlike traditional video generators, when you tell it the prompt and what you're looking to create, it doesn't just create a generic video for you. It actually puts together an entire plan for your videos. Things like aspect ratio, language, duration, audio style, plots, and even the names of the characters. You can come in here and change anything that you don't like, but once you're happy with all of it, you can tell it to just start generating. And then using the top models like Veo and Kling, and the top image generation models like Nano Banana Pro and Seedream and GPT, it actually starts putting together the video for you. And unlike most video generators, this is also a video editor. So you can make any specific changes to it that you want once it's finished generating. So I can select any of these scenes. You can come over here and change the captions, which will of course change the voiceover as well. You can change which model is used. You can change how long each scene is. You can come over here to transitions and actually add specific transitions between the scenes that you want. You can even do things like edit any of the characters or add new characters. Or to make changes to the entire video, you can come to the settings, you can change the aspect ratio, the style of the video, which image model is used to create the characters and scenes, and then which video model is used and the voice model. So pretty much any changes that you want to make, you'll be able to do all of that directly inside this video editor. And then once you're finished with it, you can go ahead and click on export and use it however you want to. So to try Focal yourself, make sure to click the first link in the description down below to get signed up to use this incredible video generator and editor. Thanks again to Focal for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to the Gemini updates. The next update I want to talk about is to Gemini's deep research. Now, deep research was already an incredibly powerful tool that enabled Gemini to, on its own, spend several minutes browsing hundreds of websites for you to write a detailed, cited report on a complex topic. But now it's gotten even better because they've added visual elements to it. So now if I select deep research, and let's go ahead and throw in a question like compare the environmental impact of electric versus gas vehicles, I'll go ahead and turn on thinking, go ahead and submit that. It's going to get to work. Now, this will take a little bit of time. That is the nature of deep research. So let's give it a moment to do that, and then we'll come back and see what the results look like. So it is now finished with the report. Now, a lot of times you're going to look at this and say, oh, it didn't work, like there's an error. All you have to do is click on the left here where it says open. Here's the report. Now, this is so far just a text report, which is nothing new. But if we scroll down, we begin to see the visuals. So we see a nice graph here, which you can hover over. It's interactive. There should be some more graphs down here as well. Yep, here's another one. Some more text underneath that. Here's another graph. And then down at the bottom, we have an infographic and then all of the citations down here. So you'll notice that Gemini is moving away from just text-based answers and really providing a lot more of these visuals. For casual use, you can use visual layout, but for a lot more deep research, you can of course use deep research and get these visuals as well. And as powerful as deep research is, Gemini has actually taken things up even another level with their new Deep Think. Now, Deep Think is only available for right now for Google AI Ultra subscribers, but I'm sure it's going to come to all users very soon. And this new feature, Deep Think, it's really designed for highly complex logical, mathematical, or technical problems. Think advanced coding, mathematics, scientific reasoning, or just very detailed instruction following. So for instance, I'm going to send it a logic problem. Go ahead and submit that, and you'll see it's actually going to think through this. Now, again, this is going to take a lot longer than it normally would because it's doing something called parallel thinking, where it's looking at different ways to answer this question, different ways, actually answering it different ways, and then kind of compiling all that information to give you the best results. And here are the results. It says the solution to the puzzle is 3 trips. I honestly don't know if that's true, but it spent a lot of time thinking about this and giving us an answer, and it even shows us its work, telling us why it came to the conclusion that it would only take 3 trips. And if you wanted to, you can click on Show Thinking and see exactly the process that it went through to give you these results. And finally, this last update really gives us a glimpse into where AI is headed in the next year. Gemini has just released Gemini Agent, which transforms Gemini from something that just talks to you into something that can actually do things for you. And this is also currently rolling out on the web just to Google AI subscribers in the US. But let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'll click right here where it says Agent, and then you can describe different tasks that you actually want it to go out and do for you. So a really good example is something like, I want to go to a concert in Austin next Friday, check my Gmail for the ticket confirmation, find a hotel within walking distance of the venue that's under $250, check my Google Calendar, make sure I don't have any meetings Saturday morning, and then draft an email to my partner with the full itinerary. Now, I can't give it that prompt because unfortunately because this is not real, I'm not actually going to a concert, but something like this I have used and it does work. So let me give you an example of something that I can actually show you. Plan a trip to Las Vegas from Denver for CES. I only want to go for 2 days, research flights, find hotel options, and create an itinerary. Now, I'm not even telling it what CES is or what days that event is happening, but it should be able to go out and figure out information about that event and actually pull all of that in all on its own, because again, this is an agent that's actually going out and doing the work for you. And we can see it's already doing that. So it's doing some research logistics. It was actually able to find the official dates for CES 2026. It's now doing a Google search for flights from Denver to Las Vegas for those dates, hotels near the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is where CES is happening. And now it's actually planning out the itinerary based on the major exhibitors that are going to be there the days that I'm actually going to be at CES. So here is the itinerary that it put together. So this is the overview. It says CES is January 6th through January 9th, which is correct. And it says, a 2-day trip is totally feasible. So here are the flight logistics. It says from Denver to Las Vegas is well serviced. There's multiple carriers. It's not going to be expensive, which again is accurate. Here's a bunch of information about different hotels that are near the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is where most of CES is actually happening. And then it actually proposes a 2-day CES itinerary, really focusing on the keynotes that would be the most interesting that I would want to attend for those 2 days. And I think this really demonstrates where AI is going, that it can just on its own plan and do a lot of things for you without you needing to give your input to it. And you can literally just walk away and come back and get results like this. So there we go. Those were all the updates to Gemini that I wanted to tell you about. Let me know in the comment section down below which one you are the most excited about. Then, if you want to hear about some recent updates to NotebookLM, you have to check out this video right here. NotebookLM is one of my favorite AI tools, and they just made it even better. So click on this video, and I'll see you there in just 1 second. Bye for now.